Well, hey everybody, it's the 8th day of March, of all things, 2026. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Can you believe we're into the third month already of the year? Time just is weird anymore. Everything just sort of, you go from here to way over there, it feels like sometimes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let me get my Geomancy runes over there. We'll take a rune from the Elder Futhark bag. Lots of things happening these days, isn't it? A little scary. So we'll see if this ends up being a collective type of a reading or if it's going to be personal. We'll see how it goes. Maybe kind of hold this up like that. I think I must knock the monitor here on my desktop when I walk by it or something, because it's always like aiming a little too close to me, so I have to fix it. Otherwise it just looks weird when I'm looking at what I'm doing here. Here we have Gebo. Gebo is the 7th rune of the Elder Futhark. It means the gift. It means balanced energy exchange, reciprocity, partnership, marriage, but anything that's a link between people. It's essentially, you can look at it as Isa crossed, which is a Norn rune for the static realm or the present moment, or it's just a solid line down. And it can basically talk about will development or becoming or the stillness within or alignment and higher consciousness. But if you look at it without looking at it that way, you're looking at Kenaz in all directions, which is the torch or the light of spirit being expressed outward in all directions. So it's really a very higher resonance type of a rune. They all are in the Elder Futhark, but some are a little bit more resonant, I think. The Norn runes are, and I think Gebo's also one of them. Sowillo also. But this could indicate there could be a partnership issue today, or something regarding partnerships today, or this week rather, and or how you interact with others in a balanced way. The gift of reciprocity. It could have something to do with any of those things. Let's take a look at the runes from the Geomancy set here. I'll throw the 4 elemental ones down and we'll take a look at what they arrange into. Here we have fire. What's this? This is air. We're going to put them in the order. This is earth, of fire, air, water, and earth. Looks like we have Albus. So again, with the higher consciousness aspect of partnership and the link between each other, it could indicate also in terms of higher consciousness versus the physical realm, the fact that we're all one and in a balance and harmony in that realm where it's essentially creator energy is what we are essentially, and how that's all harmonized and balanced, and in terms of expressing that here in physical reality, we should be doing the same, so it's truly an as above so below experience. Now Albus, its complement is Rubius. Rubius, of course, would be the misuse of force. This would be the use of wisdom, higher consciousness, clarity, a higher form of clarity. So again, it's going to align extremely well with Gebo here today, that the higher wisdom that you use to understand the true nature here, that we're all one, even though we look separate, we're actually not, especially when you go into the higher realm of the creator, the above side of things. We're all it's just the wisdom of the creator essentially, and having that type of awareness that many people forget when they come into form. They forget, some don't, who they actually are, but oftentimes people do. The souls that come in and become people, they don't remember what they are, and they have to, over the course of time, realize that in the experiences that they have here. But here, you're looking at that reciprocity, that harmony, that integration of higher consciousness awareness. into everything that we do and the interactions we have with others. And again, if this is just generally speaking, or if it's a partnership issue, that needs to come into play this week. Should something arise that might be a little uncomfortable, or if it's a new partnership or something, how are you gonna interact with one another? Is it going to be from that higher focused will, or is it going to be ego based? And I think we've talked a lot about what ego-based looks like. I think we see it playing out right now, particularly in the world, in our country, and trying to control other places through violence and intimidation and horrific kinds of things that are happening, which I have a feeling won't end up well for anyone, at all, anybody. So at some point we have to move beyond that and have the higher wisdom to do that, to actually sit down with people and talk to them and try to get everybody to be on the same page. But a lot of trust has been broken over the years, and it's a tough thing to do. It has to be something where everybody realizes, this just has to happen. And at that point, I think you're going to see, and if there's a higher focus to this reading, you're going to see that gift of reciprocity and harmony and balance and higher wisdom play out in terms of the decisions that people around the world, governments around the world will make, so that we can have that harmony. And have our interactions reflect that higher form of wisdom. So again, we're back to two different ways of looking at the readings here until this settles down. So anyway, I've cut the deck and I've taken the lower half, and I'm going to draw 3 cards. We have 2 cards from the suit of wands, the Ace of Wands and the 7 of Wands, and we also have the World from the Major Arcana. That's the 21st rune of the Major Rune. I do that all the time. The 21st card from the Major Arcana. I'm just rune based, I guess. I don't know. Let's go ahead, though, and take the numerology of the reading first while I'm thinking about it. God, when they did the update on my Apple computer, my Mac, well, on any of the stuff, the little calculator that comes built in changed a little, changed its appearance. It's like I got to get used to that. So Gebo, I said, was 7. That's the 7th rune. We've got 21 for the World, plus the Ace would be a 1, plus another 7 here equals 36. 3 and 6 is 9. I'll do it one more time. 7 plus 21 plus 1 plus 7, 36. Okay, so what happened to my... I've lost that. Oh, no, there it is. There's my... I have like a little sticky up here, and I write down everything that... what the readings were for each time, so I need to do that. I haven't started that yet. Let me do that real quick. So this is the 8th, 3, 8, 20, 26, and we have a 9 numerology. So 9 is about endings and completion. It's about generosity and spirituality, generosity of spirit. So again, that's a higher consciousness type of a thing. And I think that maybe there is either going to be a component of something's coming to an end and you're moving into something new, or an end to any conflict you might have with a partner. Things could get worked out this week. So if you want to look at in terms of endings and completion, it could be something like that in terms of that. Otherwise, generosity of spirit, maybe something that is going to be part of an overall theme of what's going to be going on this next week in terms of this reading. But I think that I'm gonna move these cards around a little bit. when I look at the world, I see endings and completion. I want to talk about that first. So I'm not going to really do this in any particular order. Here you have the nude form of the woman. She's holding two wands or scrolls, however you want to see these. Some people refer to them as wands. Some refer to them as scrolls that are wrapped up. You can just kind of see the ends on them, but they could be wands. The magician starts out with that, where you're seeing the as above, so below stands with one hand held toward creation and to heaven, and then the other toward physical reality. That's where the Fool is manifesting its physical reality here on in this particular form that we're in terms of the earth and one of the people on it, right? You've got the fixed signs of the zodiac here around, as represented by entities. And you have a pennant around her. You've got the circular wreath, if you will, with the lemniscates, figure eights on both ends. And it shows the cyclical nature of things. It also shows some now we've come full circle and now we're going to begin again. The world is about essentially completion, synthesis, and reward. And so you start with the Fool and you get to the very end, and it's all of the higher consciousness type of life lessons that the Fool, in whatever form it chooses, when it comes into reality, through the magician, through the high priestess, then to the empress, where it gives birth to creation and all of that. And then you have the remaining cards in between that and the world. The idea behind the world then is that we've come full circle. So maybe there's something in your life this week where you're going to come full circle and you're going to see how it all progressed. It comes to an ending with the overall 9 numerology, and now we're going to move forward in a little bit different way. And so I think I'm going to have the world in the center. I'm going to end with the Ace of Wands, because that's the spark of life and new creativity and new opportunities and all of that. Fire element. We'll bookend the world with 2 fire element cards. We'll start with the 7. We'll end with the 1. But I think through the idea of reciprocity and that gift of reciprocity and harmony and balance, and expressing that light of knowledge outward from your whole persona into the rest of the world that you're in. If this involves a partnership, again, maybe there's been some struggles and now they're ending and now you're getting on the other side of it. Could be something like that. It could be the end of struggles or something from what's been going on in your life, and now you're going to pursue a new type of integration with other people that maybe is less judgmental, more collaborative, more integrative, more harmony and balance oriented than maybe what you had before. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could also apply to a relationship that's in transition, that's going to be made better by putting an end to some things that have not been working, and maybe you're going to proceed on with something else. But let's take a look here at the 7 of Wands. Here you have a guy up on looks like a hill, or a little precipice, if you will. He's holding his staff in his hands, and there's 6 more below him. With the 7, he's observing the situation below him to see what's coming in on him. He's standing his ground, essentially. He's weighing out the situation, if you looked at the 7 again as a set of scales, you're trying to weigh out what is it that you're looking at. And he has to make a decision about this. But he's standing his ground, and he's not going to let other people define for him what his sense of self is, what his vitality is, what the choices that he's going to make, or the opportunities he's going to pursue, or what he has to offer the world. He's not going to be deterred by the naysayers. It's a very fire element kind of a thing, where you're taking the inner will within and you're standing your ground about what it is that you believe and what you can create, and the opportunities you have to offer both to yourself and others for new growth and new life and new experiences. And that's a very fire element kind of a thing. And again, with the 7, there's a sense of balance here, but there's also a sense of standing your ground and making sure you understand what's really what the 6 wands down here, or staffs, are really all about. What is their motivation? What are they trying to achieve? Are they trying to take from him? And be the ones that decide everything for him, or is he saying, no, I've got this for myself, and y'all can just stay where you are. And so from there, once that decision is made and he understands what he needs to do, he's let everything settle out, he understands the picture he's looking at, and from there, we don't actually know what he's going to do, except that whatever it is, he reaches his reward. So there may be a point here this week where you do have to stand your ground, and you do have to stand up for what you believe in and what you have to offer. And then when you do, perhaps a whole new experience opens up for you. Here you have the Ace of Wands. As with all ace cards in the Rider-Waite Tarot, you will always see a hand reaching out from the cloud. You also see it in the 4 of Cups. But it's the unseen hand of spirit, of higher consciousness, reaching out with the crude club here, which is representing the Ace of Wands. Again, in the Rider-Waite, it's either going to present as a club or it's going to present as a full staff, like the one I have back here behind me. It's going to present as a staff. And most of the time it does. And so other decks may do it differently, but this is how the Rider-Waite does it. And here you have a castle on the hill over here, and perhaps the Ace of Wands here is showing something new that's on the horizon, that's going to impact your home and your essentially your material security. So again, I've also said this before, that even though you'll see it's the suit in this case of Wands, you're going to have other elements represented in each of these cards. And so the home would be earth, and so it would be pentacles. But here, and then you have also a winding stream that you can barely see down here. It starts over here and kind of hooks around and comes here. And so there's the water element there, or cups. And so, and then air with the cloud, and swords. So it, again, with the ace, it's said to be the all of the energy combined for that particular suit. Well, it's not just, again, it's not living in a vacuum. There's other elements there, and other, in the case of the tarot, other suits involved in each of the cards. You can find them pretty much in any of them. But here, once you've stood your ground and you said, no, this is what this is how I see things. This is how I'm going to do this. And this is my motivation. And this is what the desired outcome I want to have here. You are ultimately going to be successful in it. And there could be something after that then where a new path opens that gives you lots of room for new opportunities and new motivations, and maybe to increase material security. Who knows? So that's what I think is probably the crux of all of this. But so it seems to me that something's coming to an end, and maybe the implication here, it's here where he's just decided, you know what, I'm not going to take any more stuff from people who want to try to either undermine me or undermine my success, or want to try to tell me what I need to do and how I need to do it. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to move forward after understanding the bigger picture. Again, with Albus, there's that higher wisdom. And again, we're looking at the 7 here, the 7th rune of the Elder Futhark, where again 7 factors in. Again, where you're looking at the entire equation. And here, if you look at this as Kenaz, Kenaz and Kenaz, you've got Kenaz all over the place. That's the light. That's the light of spirit. That's the torch. That's clarity. That's revelation. And so using that energy, it motivates him to stand up for what he believes in and what he wants to do and what he wants to accomplish. And in the end, he's going to be successful. And we're going to come full circle and begin again with the Ace of Wands, with new opportunities, maybe predicated upon the ones that you just dealt with and stood up for. Maybe it opens the door for something else to happen that's positive and transformative, because the aces are transformative in and of themselves. So I think that that's what we're going to look at here. I don't think I want to try to dovetail any of this to what's happening in the world right now, because that's just too much to think about. There's just so many unknown factors in what people are going to do and how they're going to react. And we've seen some of it, but we don't know all of it. And you've got people on all sides that maybe aren't playing with a full deck. And I mean, if you know, you know. And so it's going to be difficult to predict what's going to happen here coming up. But I think with what's happening here in terms of a personal situation, again, I think that putting an end to some things, maybe where you're not standing up for yourself and you suddenly do, it's going to take people, they're going to be taken aback by it. They're not going to know what to do with you. It's like, oh, we've not heard this from this person before. And maybe that's what this is about. This is a new phase in your life that's opening, where you're going to deal with things in a little bit different way, maybe be more assertive than you have been, and stand your ground and be sure and firm in what you believe that you can do and accomplish. Again, with the world suggesting that that's a positive thing, and it could be successful, and then bring you right back around to where you begin with something new with the ace that could be opening up as a result of all of it. So anyhow, a little more positive reading for the individual than maybe for what's going on in the world. So I wish I could feel comfortable doing the other side of it, but I don't, because I don't think I have enough information yet on it. So, but I'm thinking and I'm watching and I'm pulling cards and runes and during the week and kind of seeing where things seem to be going, and but then they short circuit and they'll take a whole other different tact. It's like, okay. So maybe this isn't the time yet to try to interpret what might be happening here collectively. So anyway, for another time maybe. Again, thanks for watching, and check out the blog over at Stepping Aside. The web address is imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more below the video, that word, and it'll open up a box, and it'll be right there at the top to remind you of the web address. The general astrological outlook, the daily readings, the correspondences for work and magic. There's also a little overview of what's happening with the moon and related things in there, and check that out, because that came out came out today on Sunday. Well, actually, I posted it yesterday. So I always post it on Saturday nights now. So if you want to get a head start, you can always look. And later on in the evening, it'll probably be there. I tried to do it. I set an alarm for 7 p.m. my time on the West Coast here, Pacific now, daylight time. I just wish, standard time is what's supposed to be the one that we should all be under. It's better for our biorhythm. It's more in sync with our bodies and all of that. But then the politicians, they'll come out and say, "Oh no, let's make it Pacific day, or let's make it daylight time." It's like, no. I'm doing a bill, Patty Murray says, and to where we're going to be on Pacific daylight or daylight time, I guess. I keep saying Pacific daylight time, but daylight time is like, no. So I commented to her. I said, and I did a quote, from the American Medical Association. No, the other one. Get it right. I don't know. She didn't respond, so I don't know. Anyway, if we could just get that right, then I wouldn't I feel like I've lost an hour of my life today. It's upsetting. So anyway, but again, thanks for watching, and come back again next Sunday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.